Yeah. I got melanin. Oh yeah. I got melanin. You bet. We got melanin. 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 I got melanin.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jazz,
What's good? I'm Nick, and welcome to Melanin Code.
the podcast where we give y'all entertainment from our goofy personalities, a discussion on life, and while also showing out for the culture.
So this week's topic is based off of Teen Violence Awareness Month, well, teen dating violence. So overall, this is not a month that did we all know it's for a month of Black History, but like the other girl needs to play music. But yeah, this is not a month that we really talk about teen dating violence. But overall, we just want to reiterate some things to everybody so they like just give advice and just give some thought process. And first, we're gonna say that we are not psychologists, we are not cops, we are not none of that. We just want to give our advice and our thoughts on this, and just talk about it. So first, Jasmine, can you kind of tell us what you know about teen dating violence awareness month, or what you know, what you like? Is it new to you, or have you heard it before?
Um, well, I really hadn't heard about it until recently. Um, which is it seems like it's a really big problem because teen violence within relationships or anything like that is very common. Um, and I feel like especially now it's common because of media and people being um not aware of, but like just being um introduced to violence and even domestic violence through TV, the internet, and things like that. So I feel like it's a major problem that really should have more awareness and more discussions about because it is a growing problem within just the world in general.
Mm-hmm. So what I like, of course, it's something new that I've heard. Like you know, like I just said, you know about Black History Month, and you know about Valentine's Day being in this month. So overall, I understand why they need to be an awareness month, like giving something where it's talked about more, because it's not talked about enough. People like we know about domestic violence. We know about it when with people who are older, people who who are dealing with this as adults, but then as teens, you're sitting here and you don't know whether, but you think this is a love type situation, and
Mhm.
some of them are grow up in those type of situations already, so they think it is. But I think this is something that needs to be talked about more because it needs to be learned early
Yeah,
before it's like too late.
yeah. Like if I feel like most people don't realize that they're in like this toxic abusive relationship because they probably seen their parents grow growing up. Maybe their parents may not have the best of relationship, or it was a domestic violence type of situation, and it's maybe the only type of love that they know. Or maybe they grew up with a single parent and that parent was abusive, but that's the only type of love per se that they're used to. So they feel as though this is the only way to show that the other person cares for you. And I feel like a lot of it is definitely psychological because you may think it's fine, but in reality, it's doing more harm than good.
I think that people need to like first learn that love is not something to really be played with. Like, of course, you can get like it can be certain types of love that you think about and you talk about, and like your love for your friends and your love for your family and stuff. But when it comes to relationship love, it can get physical in a sense, and it is sometimes it can get toxic, it can get manipulative, and that's not what that is. That's not what love is supposed to be. And overall, I think people need to just take a moment and think about it. Like, am I really in love, or am I just blindly looking at something?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I feel like needs to be talked about more. Then also with this being Black History Month, I feel like one I can't say you should have gave it another month. I'd be like, I think we should have made it more of a bigger deal. But
Mm-hmm.
you know that nothing's gonna overshadow Black History Month in our opinion,
Yeah.
and like in most people's opinion. So and then it's like people who don't, it's people who don't even know about this month or know about this time, and it's something that affects them. So I
Yeah,
believe that it actually needs to be talked about more, and then just in itself, it needs to be talked about more in high school because we didn't talk about this at all in high school.
at
You need to
all.
talk about more in middle school because you never know. Just talk about it as early as you can, so people know this is not okay, this is not right. If something's happening to you, you need to go seek help.
Yeah, and I've just like it definitely gets overshadowed with it being Black History Month and the season of Valentine's Day and things like that. So you would like I feel like with it also being a time of Valentine's Day, a time of where you're supposed to be loving and showing your partner that you care. Um, I feel like that's why it's also a reason to be brought up more often. Um, because this is supposed to be a time where a lot of teenagers they find themselves in relationships and and a lot of teenagers want to be in relationships for this fact that they want to feel like an outcast or like they're alone or things like that. So I feel like it should also be brought up simultaneously because you want teens and just anyone in general, you want them to be safe while they're searching for this piece that they feel like they're missing. And like I just feel like Valentine's Day and teen violence awareness is like it should be going hand in hand. It should be going hand in hand.
So, like, I don't even know if it's like something like, well, domestic violence awareness, but I don't think it's a month for that right now. And uh, overall, do I want people to actually learn learn different definitions of what love is. Like, it goes beyond the definition that's on Google or in the dictionaries. It's
Yeah.
different feelings and it's different emotions that can come out of it. But
Yeah.
one thing that love isn't is anything that's harmful.
Yeah. And that's where I feel like a lot of times love has so many meanings. Like the English language is the only language where there's only one word for love, like one actual meaning. And a lot of people kind of also get it confused when people are saying, "Oh, they're just showing you tough love." And I feel like tough love is something that's very common, especially within the Black community, I feel like. Because like if you always say like I felt like I've always heard growing up, oh, they're just showing you tough love. It's just tough love. It's here to make you stronger. It's here to make not make you soft. And I feel like a lot of times it tends to be towards Black males to make them I guess be more masculine and be more tough. And that's where like I feel like a lot of problems often happen.
So another thing that's also like pointed out when people find like as little kids, boys are picking on girls or girls picking on guys, like when they're kids, stuff like physically like they're just like, oh, they're just doing that because they like you.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's where it should start, where the talk should stop. No one should ever be putting their hands on you, whether you think it's like cute or not. It's not. It's
Hmm.
something that needs to be talked about, and it's like why are you really encouraging that whole situation? Say, you know what, tell them don't put their hands on you, don't tell them don't touch you in that sense because it makes you uncomfortable, it doesn't make you feel safe type thing. It's like you kind of get taught at a young age that physical things are something that's okay, and it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah, that is true. A lot of it is, oh, he's picking on you, he's making fun of you. That's just because he likes you. I feel like that really is just a gateway into accepting accepting like injury and violence into your life. Like it's not a healthy thing. And I feel like as adults, we should be telling people or not people, but children, like it's not okay to show your love, like to show that you are affectionate towards someone like this, because that really does kind of like mentally that can mentally scar. And I feel like that's another reason why some people will accept hurt and fear into their life because it's all they know.
So, what are some ways that you think like everybody should work on it? Like some things that you think should be instilled in like either family dynamics to start talking about it first.
Um, I feel as though when it comes to younger children, you don't have to be as blatant about it and be like, this is what it is. Like, they still deserve their innocence. They still deserve to have a chance to, be able to grow without being shot right in. There are ways that I feel like just like any person has like the talk, like the talk with their children, like yes, you can start them young, but you ease them into it. Don't just blatantly just be like, I don't know. It's kind of hard because you want to with kids, like you want them to still have hope that everything in the world is not all terrible and everything is going to be coming against you. Like you still want them to have like that kid like joy. So I feel like it depends on how your kid is. I don't know. Like what do you feel like with when it comes to kids, like how it should be integrated into, their childhood?
I feel like it should be talked about head on. Like first, of course, you've had that talk of no one should put their hands on you. You have
Yeah.
that talk, but I feel like it should be reiterated, even when you think that oh that's my friend or that's like my girlfriend, boyfriend. Like little kids can start saying oh I got a girlfriend, I got a boyfriend. Still reiterate that. Still reiterate that physicality and them being mean to you or saying things that you don't like or things that hurt your feelings are not okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we got older, it got to the point where it was just like as we got older, we kind of saw how people started making toxic being okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the like toxic manipulation, finding that to be okay is kind of also an issue.
Mhm.
And seeing people that I know myself either like go through it and then seeing it firsthand. But like I would say at times probably dealing with it, like feeling like people that can manipulate you and say anything say anything to you,
Mhm.
but because they say they love you, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like overall, love is not a controlling and forced situation. It's something that is something that's unique and that's supposed to be beautiful, but sometimes it is taken into the wrong context and taken into the wrong point of view.
Yeah. And I feel like another aspect of it is more than just the physical violence, but the mental abuse as well. Like when you talk about manipulation and things like that, like it does start young. A lot of people, when we have our toxic, usually tend to have like toxic behavior or toxic tendencies. A lot of times it starts off as manipulation. And one thing that I know, just experiencing, like, it's never, a lot of times you don't even realize that you're being manipulated. You feel as though you're like you may be helping that person, or um it's the attention that you're getting, and you feel as though because they say that, oh, they love you, or that you're the only person that they want to be with. Like they say all the things that you want to hear, while also sliding in those things of trying to control your life, trying to get you to do things maybe you're not even comfortable with yet, but because they say that, like, oh, but we're here for each other, we're together, if you love me you would do this, a lot of it starts with that manipulation. And I feel like the more it is instilled that the actions of the person speaks a lot louder than the things that they say, I feel like if that's instilled more, a lot of things would start to change, because we wouldn't just be trying to pay attention to what they're saying, but how they're saying it and in the manner of when they say it.
The one thing I think should be talked about more is what's going too far. What's my breaking point? What makes me uncomfortable? So if you using some insecurities against me, definitely a breaking point, definitely a line you're crossing. If you know that, like, sometimes I feel like a lot of us end up in these situations because we already have insecurities that we're working through, and people use those insecurities to get what they want. You get what you want out of that. You get the manipulation, you get the but I thought you loved me, you get the but ain't nobody gonna love you the way I do. Just that type of stuff. You kind of feed on those insecurities, and it doesn't help. And it points to the very fact of you're wrong. Uh you're being a part of the problem.
Yeah. It comes to like being able to teach that you should be able to speak up for what makes you uncomfortable, being able to feel as though your worth matters. And a lot of times most people feel like I don't matter, but that's the exact opposite. It's the life that you're living is yours. So if you don't feel comfortable, if you feel like something might be off, you shouldn't feel as though you have to bury that deep and just go with it. Like a lot of times I feel like we're taught to just like if you're feeling as if you're worthless, you're supposed to be taught to be grateful. You're taught to be grateful for what you're getting. And that mentality, having that mentality is very dangerous, because if what you're getting is bare minimum and is not even worth it, like I feel like a lot of times we praise people for doing the bare minimum, for doing what they're supposed to do, and that's very toxic behavior. Like we should be expecting these things, you know. It shouldn't be something that is just like, wow, oh my gosh, you're amazing because you're doing what you're supposed to do.
You bought me flowers. You checked on me and made sure I ate today. That type of stuff. Like, babe, the
You
bare
should be
minimum.
doing that, you know, like we praise the bare minimum. And another thing also is like a lot of times when people think of any type of relationship with violence, they always assume it's the male causing it, which is not always true, because a lot of times there are some females who are manipulative, who are actually physically abusing their boyfriends, you know. It's always taught, oh, you're a guy, you can't hit a girl. But I feel like there's also should be that connotation. If you are a girl, you should not be beating on a guy just because he can't hit you back. I feel like just because you're a female, does not mean that you can't get Millie Watt back. Like if you are like I would always defend a guy who is standing on for his own. Like people are like, oh, he shouldn't have hit her back. This girl was beating and punching him. And actually, like, you know, like when I see videos of females in the streets, just like using their purses or just like getting like something, just directly like abusing these men, I'm just like, y'all are trying to defend her when she's the one that started it all and is publicly trying to humiliate this man. What do you want him to do? Just sit there and take the physical abuse? Like, it goes both ways. And for some reason, like, we have it in our minds that guys shouldn't get the same level of attention as well.
I think that you're 100% right, and it goes both ways. It goes regardless of how we might feel that, oh, guys do it more. It doesn't matter who does it more. It shouldn't be done at all.
Exactly.
And of course, you can manipulate another man. You can manipulate another girl. You can do all like it's stuff that it doesn't go based on gender. You don't have it's not a gender is not specified to doing something, but overall, everybody needs to take accountability for the fact that I'm a part of the issue. I'm a part of the problem. I can be the one who did it. I am the reason why so and so did so and so. So overall, it's just like I seen it firsthand, feeling like wasn't nobody else gonna put that energy into you or put that like that care that supposedly like they were giving you in. Like it's just like no. Overall, you need to realize that, and nobody's gonna be here more for you than you are yourself, and no one's gonna love you more than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I just the whole thing of like that's why I actually love the whole awareness and the movement, trying to make sure kids understand what you think is okay sometimes it's not. What you see in the movies, not always okay. What you think is like what you think is fun and trendy is not. It's more so you need to take a minute and be like, hey, I know that this is not for me.
Yeah.
This is something that worries me.
Yeah. Kids definitely should be taught that how they feel about themselves should always come first. It should always come first. And that loving yourself and putting yourself to a high standard shouldn't always be deemed as, oh, you're being cocky or you're too self-absorbed. Like, it's good to know who you are and know how you feel. And a lot of people don't get to have that feeling starting young. Like, those insecurities do start at a young age a lot of times, and it's usually looked over. I mean, kids don't really talk about their once they start getting older, like starting getting into like elementary school, middle school, like it's usually feelings start to be suppressed because once it's like there's this whole societal thing. Once people know who you are, you have to hold face because they can use it against you. And I feel like that's what's wrong with us now, is that there's so many people out there who are like, oh, you seem to have this, I can have this control over you, so I'm going to use this weakness that you have to get what I want. And so I feel like if we teach one another, that it's not okay to try to take advantage of people for your own personal gain, that things will definitely start to change.
Well, so for Quincy this week, I decided that I'm just gonna show some statistics and just some stuff some resources you can use. So I'm about to go to it right now. Okay. So these are different facts about just knowing the facts about teen dating violence. So the first thing is 1 in 3 adolescents in the U.S. are a victim of physical, sexual, and emotional assault from a dating partner. That's pretty common. That
Yeah.
kind of puts it on a high level of who it could be. So it's not even the whole fact of, oh, it's just the person you're dating, and that's just that person. No, it can happen to anyone. Don't ever think you're alone in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next. 1 in 10 high school students has been purposely hit, stepped, or physically hurt by a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
1 in 10 high school students. So you're probably going around school thinking, okay, hey, like you see people in school, like you could think about the fact that that might be somebody you know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. Everybody like your class size is bigger than 10 people.
Yeah.
So you like think about how common that can be.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is girls and young women between the ages of 16 and 24 experience the highest rate of intimate partner violence, almost triple the national average. 16 and 24. You just started getting to the whole situation of I can start being out on my own. Like now this is the time where you're starting to drive and stuff. Like you're starting to do a little bit more. So it's like this is why they talk about this.
Yeah, like you're at that point, you're just trying to figure out these are different emotions that you have going on, and like you're usually at this point starting to try to make serious relationships happen within your life, and trying to build on the people that you want in the rest of your life. And it's sad to say, like even when looking at these statistics, it's always like these are the things that get reported. So the chance of any of these being higher is likely because a lot of times people don't even report these things. And that's really it really hurts to see, like, with just what's reported, how high these numbers are. It's saddening to see.
Okay, it says next, 1 in 3 teens who were in abusive relationships never told anyone about the abuse. So we all have seen it to where you have people coming out now talking about being sexually assaulted, being molested in a sense. And now you see people just like, why didn't you tell earlier? Because a lot of people don't feel comfortable. They don't feel safe telling it. They don't feel like they can go to anyone and talk about it.
They're usually
so that's why it needs to be talked. That's why we got to start making people feel more comfortable and like, you can come to me. You can say what happened. You do not have to feel scared of that person.
Yeah. It's always that there's usually a fear because when violence is involved, it's usually they're afraid for their life. That's why like it's really important for people to not only know that they can speak up, but there are places out there that can help you.
Like it goes beyond like, and then if you don't feel comfortable talking to your family, talking like everybody has one person they can talk to, but then you feel like sometimes people might not. So find somebody that you feel is trustworthy, whether they're your family, they're your friends, they're a professional in a certain career. Mm-hmm. These are things that you can just think about having that talk to. So for the next one, it says 80% of girls who have been physically abused in their relationship continue to date their abuser. Mm-hmm. This, I feel like it becomes from the fact of feeling like there's nobody else that's gonna love me for real. There's nobody else that's gonna give me the attention that he or she gave me, and the attention and the feeling that I got from them, like in the beginning relationship, or they could feel like they could be that person that be like, I can change them, or this is only because I caused it. You're never the cause of somebody else hurting you in no sense. It should never hurt it.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Says, okay, last one is 1 in 5 girls who have been in relationships said a boyfriend threatened violence if presented with a breakup. There's a manipulation aspect. So in this, the threatening, just all of that, feeling like you can't leave because of the fact that you're scared for your life, and then you can also be scared for others. You can be scared that something else is going to happen to you. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, overall, it's okay to speak out and say, hey, I don't feel comfortable. Can you help me? Or I don't feel comfortable in this situation. I need to protect myself as well as others. That's how it is. And it's like, sometimes this is not something that's going to stop overnight. It's not something that people can feel comfortable doing overnight. It's something that we have to work on together. And that's what this is for. This is to let you know it's not okay. Mm-hmm. You need to speak up, and you need to know that this should never continue. This should never be the presenting issue.
Yeah, like there's always someone that you can talk to, even if you don't feel comfortable talking. There are ways to do it without even having to say a word. and there's no reason to feel embarrassed, because I feel like that's another reason a lot of people will stay quiet, because they feel like they should have known better, and that people are going to judge them and assume the worst in them. And it's like, nothing about this is your fault. Nothing about this is embarrassing. It's something that can happen to anybody, and it does happen to more than just you. You shouldn't feel like you're alone in this situation at all.
So also, like the resources I was just talking about, to call for help. Also, like, if you're in these situations or you know someone in this situation, make sure you're calling this number down at the bottom, which is 715-635-5245. Then you can also text, because sometimes you don't feel comfortable calling. When you text 715-532-6976. Let's learn more information about all of these facts and just different things about this entire month and the awareness that it's trying to bring. Go to embracewi.org. So it's also embracewi.org, and it's going to give you more information just so you get a better understanding. But one of the whole mottos for them is love shouldn't hurt. Love is something that's respect, like respect. It takes respect. It takes patience. It takes so many different things. And if someone doesn't have that with you, then overall, there's no point.
Mm-hmm.
But since we are nearing the end of the show, I would like to also make sure I point out it is Black History Month. You know we have to do something. We have to show out for the culture. So we have a plan for the end of the month. You've seen that I've posted a couple history facts. I've been missing a couple days because I'm all over the place. And I thought me and Jasmine would switch back and forth, but I think we miscommunicate on that.
Yeah.
So I'll let Jasmine throw in her 2, and then I'll go back to doing it. And then let's just do 2 for each. Like you do 2, I do 2, back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we also have something planned for at the end of the month. Of course, we're going to have a Black History Podcast Day, of course. But just want to let it be known that we are not forgetting about Black History Month. Of course, we are going to talk about it. Of course, we're going to do something fun for it.
This is Melanin Code. We can't forget.
Yeah, I mean, melanin is in it, babe. So, all right, everybody, we're at the end of the show. So let us put you on to some stuff we have been loving lately. This can be anything starting from music, movies, shows, and even books. So let me put y'all on. I have 4 playlists that I created. I have self-love, I have throwback love songs, I have love songs, and I have pop out. So these are all my playlists, and I will give it to Jasmine so she can put it in her bio in the description below. And just let me know what you think of them. Like, just put it in the little Instagram. I think about putting them on the story too, just in case. So yeah, so then you can just screenshot it. It's gonna be on Spotify. I don't do Apple Music, sorry. Yeah, so overall, there. Jasmine.
All right, so for this week's, let me put you guys on. Recently, me and my roommate, we have been watching this show. I think it came out 2016, maybe. It's called Underground. It's a wonderful show. You can watch it on Hulu. We're not sponsored by Hulu, but I know it's on there. And pretty much it's telling the story of a bunch of slaves who have been trying to, escape. And it's a really good show. A lot of drama, a lot of action, and it's very informative. A lot of things you don't get to learn in school about the actual way of the lives of slaves are taught to you. Yeah, that's what I'm putting you guys on to this week.
All right, so thanks y'all for tuning in this week, and we hope to see you. I hope you look at our next video. We hope you subscribe. Just let us know about some stuff that you want to see us do, and Jasmine, do your thing.
Yes, guys, thank you guys for watching, and make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and make sure you guys tune into our social medias. Like Nakira said before, we post things on our social medias, whether it be polls or interactive things, trying to we want to be able to talk to you guys. So stick with us on our social medias. Those are linked below. And yeah, thanks you guys for watching. See you next time we host. Bye.
Bye.